Hello everyone, happy Saturday morning, and I'm back for another video here in my studio. I'm Robin McClendon. I'm mixed media artist, gel printer, book artist, painter, like mixed media, right? That says it all. So today we're going to go ahead and finish up this journal that we made from last week, and I'll just show you how I'm going to put it together. There's a number of ways to put it together, but I thought I've out of all the ways we can put it together, and I'll talk you through a number of them, I've decided on one that I think is going to be easiest for you to use in terms of taking things in and out of. If you want to use it for that purpose, which is what I'm going to be using mine for. If you want to be able to add to it, if you want to make a journal that's more permanent, of course you could use the saddle stitch. So we're going to talk through all of that while we put one of these books together. And also I just want to announce this is going to be my last video for the year. I will be back the first Saturday in January, and in the meantime, I'm going to take some time off, except for I'm still going to be working on projects. I'm getting ready for Germany. I have a couple of workshops coming up that I need to prepare for. I have to make a bunch of these cleanup journals, because boy do I have a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be having my first Friday sale in January, so I have some wonderful bespoke inks. You know, the inks that I've been working with Cindy Torres. These, they're going to be coming to this avocado. There's a number of inks that she sent me. They'll be coming to my first Friday sale. So if you were ever interested in these, please either jump on my mailing list, or, well, make sure you're on my mailing list, because that's where I always announce it. Or jump on my website the first Friday of January, first thing in the morning. I will have everything up. Also, I'm going to be putting a lot of these studio journals up, because I have so much paper. I have got to share it out with the world, because it's just no way that I'm gonna get all this used, and I'm constantly making more, you know, like it doesn't stop. And I have a number of my own collage projects already lined up, things I'm working on, and I just realized this is crazy. So I'm gonna share it with you all. So that's gonna come to the first Friday sales as well. So yeah, those are my announcements, and let's get on down to this table. So what I've decided I'm going to do, so I've just pulled a lot of bits and pieces. I mean, like, this is just a small fraction of what I have, and it's not all going to get in this book. As a book, I am going to be filling up the packs I'm also going to sell are going to be the full folders. So it's going to be a full folder just stuffed with stuff, because like I will have a zillion of these if I try to make them to actually be a cleanup journal. But I wanted to show you this option, because I think they make beautiful books, wonderful art journals, you know, to work through. They make great travel journals, because they're just a nice size. You could make it a little shorter, but the width of it and the fact you can expand on the side really allows you to travel and just have stuff with you. So it's a fun project. What we're going to do is, I've decided I'm going to put this one in here just as a beginning page, because I just love it. These together are just so simpatico. I think this old paper, this paper is from 1832. But with this new folder that we just made, I mean, look how well they go together. So I'm going to put this one in there, but then the rest of them are a lot of my papers and things like that. So in order to get started, I've decided what I want to show you all is how to use wax thread. You can also do this with that really thin elastic, you know, so if you want something a little more stretchy, you can definitely use baker's twine, yarn, anything like that. And what it's going to allow us to do, we're going to create a tuck spot on the spine, and then you can slide your papers in and out. So it's really a cool way of doing it too, and it allows you to use this folder a lot of different ways if you want to. But you know, you also can put your like we did with the Basquiat file folder book, you know, you can stab bind it and do your do the pamphlet stitch. If you have a long arm stapler and you really just want to go in and make these things, you don't want to sew it, I have a long arm stapler. You can take these and you can just go right into the center and staple it. That's called saddle stitching. So you can saddle stitch them. There are so many ways that you can think about binding a book. But what we're going to do is use our waxed linen. So what I'm going to do is I want to kind of basically get, you know, the amount. So cut it there. Just enough to come around all sides. And it's going to end up being tied off. I'll tie it off in the inside. You could tie it off on the outside. But before I tie it off, one of the things I like to do is I like to control the tension that's going to be on the spine. So what I do is I take my tiny hole punch. You can hardly, like you can see, it's real. It's a real tiny one. But you can also take a pen. You can take anything. Or if you have a larger hole punch. And I'm just going to take and punch right in the center. I'll show you. I got to see it first and then. Of this spine space. See how I made that little, I'll get it to focus. See that little hole there? So I'm going to do that on both ends. Because what that does, it controls how, you know, it gives the string some place to go. So you just don't have, here it is again. So you don't have it like bending your pages and, you know, bending this part and then ripping. It really does allow the string just to seat right down in that little spot. And it just controls the whole thing. And it also keeps the string from sliding back and forth. So it's easy peasy, but it's one of those things, one of those kind of bookbinder tips that does make a difference. In bookbinding, it's all the little things. That's the thing that fascinated me so much when I was studying book arts, is it's like all the little teeny tiny things that oftentimes you wouldn't even think about, but makes a difference. So you see how, let's see, let's get it to focus. Come on. Okay, see how nice that looks? It's very controlled on that edge, and it's going to keep that in there so it won't go sliding back and forth. So you want to do that. And then after that, you can literally slide your papers in until you get this thing to where you want. I plan on, I'm also going to probably use some, see how nicely that slips in? So easy, but yet really nice. I'm going to use some sari silk to ultimately tie mine off because I know this is going to be pretty stuffed. So what I'm going to do is, these are throwaway gel, you know, when I was gel printing where I cleaned the plate off and stuff like that, and then I've stained them. So okay, so let's just kind of figure some things out. And see, all these papers, I can come back in and use them, of course, because we're just sliding them in. And that's what makes it nice also, is that, let's get a variety here. A lot of these are my stained papers, some gel prints, you know, that I want to use for, this is tissue, things that I want to use for my, for collages. And I tell you, when they're in piles like this, I honestly forget them. Oh, these are some really cool bonds that was shared with me. Gail, one of my patrons. Aren't they cool? Love them. So I'll stain these, but I want to remember I have them. So I'm just kind of gathering up gel prints. Stick them in there somewhere. Okay. How does this fit in there? That fits nicely. Let's put this in the middle somewhere so when I fold it, it'll fold in. Okay. See how this does. So I put them in a grouping, and then I'm just going to fold them so that I don't have a really crisp fold, but I have like a soft rolled kind of fold. That way, I'm going to be using these mostly as collage, but even if I wanted to use them differently, you know, you can always take them out and iron them. So if you have a soft fold like this, it doesn't really put a, you know, a really deep fold in your work. Makes it a little easier. So just slide it in at an angle. And so that's doing a good job. See how chunky it is already. And I just put a slip knot in here so that I can actually loosen the tension as well, so that if you don't put like a square, like a right off over left and a left over right, this is pretty, by it being waxy, it just won't come completely open on you, but it does give you the opportunity to move things around a little bit. But if it's a book that you think you want to go in and out of a lot, then you can also use, like I said, the elastic cord, you know, real thin elastic cord. I do have some of it, but of course, with me cleaning up, I cannot put my hands on it. But you see here, we have our pages in here all ready to go. And you can literally slip them out, use them. And you can see if this were sewn in, how it'd make a really cool book too. You can kind of alter the pages. But I really love these file folder journals. I've been making these for a long time, a lot of different ways, and I always use them at the end and the beginning of the year. Those have been hanging out with me for a while. You know, you've heard about my studio cleanup journals before. And so I've been doing this quite a while. So these are in there good. And it really does allow you just to kind of put everything together in one place. And let me see. And then just have it all. So you can literally flip through it. I have these small pieces I want to put in here. I have an envelope. What's cool about these also is that you don't have to make this huge commitment to your papers until you're ready, you know. And I think that's why we all sit around with all these piles of stuff and in envelopes, because you're not quite sure what you want to do with them, you know, and you're like, oh, if I cut it up, if I do this, then I've already committed. But it's in piles, you can't find it, it's not inspiring. So when I started doing these, I find that a lot of times I'll coordinate them by project. So even if I'm going through them, I'm thinking, okay, like a lot of these papers go nicely together. If you notice, there's kind of like even sort of a theme from how, even when I pulled them. So a lot of them already go nicely together. So it means that if I wanted to go in and make a book, let's say I have, you know, like 4 or 5 or 6 of these, which I generally have a number of these sitting around. And when I finish making the ones that I'm not going to sell, that I'm going to keep, and then the ones that I'm going to sell to everyone, you'll see that they're already kind of like in bundles. Those of you who took my Tamashii bundle course, and was it Yvonne in the chat called them Tamashii. Did you call them Tamashii collage books? I like that. I thought that was really cool. So I think that's going to be our theme for next year, Tamashii collage. But my Tamashii bundles is designed to like put a lot of bundles together and tie them up so that when you're ready to do a project, you literally pull a bundle and you may be making a book out of it, using it for collage and things like that. But it's literally ready to go because thematically the papers work together. So when I put these books together, I think about it the same way. I think, well, all these things go together nicely and they would work well in a book, well in a collage. So that's the other thing that's nice about it, because you can also coordinate your papers by color, by theme, by patterns and things like that, so that when you go to them, you could look at it and say, wow, these are all the elements that I think would be really cool. in a collage, or to start the like the guts of a book and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna put my little coffee filter in there. So I have these little bits that I want to get in there because I think they go nicely, and it already gives me some pieces that I could also put this in the front cover too. That would be pretty there too. This is the short one, so let's do this way. So we can slide that here because we have these pockets. So, come on. That also helps us to sort of think about what is in here too, just looking at the front of it. I have this envelope. Let's just go ahead and stick this in there. So, yeah, so these are like wonderful. They're ready to go, and we're actually creating something and making something, but we're not having to make this huge commitment to to cutting up our papers or sewing them or whatever, making them permanent until we're ready to. Fabric tucks in there nicely right underneath there, and so that one's nice and stuffed. So what we're gonna do is, let me put the weight on it. So I have some sari silk here. I'm just gonna cut a length of it and tie it off. Nothing fancy, just so you could do this with ribbon, yarn, whatever, and just tie it off. That way it holds it together. And I literally could come back and just keep tucking stuff in there because we have our pockets. And that's the other thing I like about having the pockets on the front, because sometimes you're going through and you have ideas which you have in the journal. You can just stick smaller pieces in the front. You can see we still have room, could still fill this up. So as you're going through and organizing your papers, you may start with piles, and you have so many of these journals, right? And then you may come across some papers, bits and pieces that you think, oh wow, this will really look good with the papers I put in this journal. So you can just obviously untie it, open it up, and literally slip things in. Boy, is it so easy to be coordinated and organized, but at the same time really truly inspired to make things and do things with your work. And guess what? If you didn't do anything but make these and periodically flip through them and look at all the beautiful papers you've made, you could literally put this in like in your living room on the coffee table. Do a stack of these, or somewhere pretty, so that when you want to be inspired, you just open your books, flip through things, and think about what you want to create, maybe papers you want to make again. This is a good way to put jelly prints that you don't want to cut up, but you want to have them at hand and you want to be able to enjoy them, so that you can recreate them. Put them in a rolled spine like this, so that the papers are not actually creased, and at the same time you can take them out, look at them, you can flip through them, and you have them to be inspired by them, but you don't have to cut them or sew them in a book and really commit them in a way that maybe you're not ready to commit them yet. So there you have it. It's very easy. I hope this has encouraged you during your downtime during the holidays, when you're just hanging out with family and friends. These are such easy projects to do, and it allows you to organize everything, get ready for the new year. I'm gonna be doing the same, and I think that's everything. So thank you all, first of all, for being on this journey with me all year long. 2023 has just been amazing. So many good things have happened, projects rolled out. The book has done amazingly. We're in our second printing. January, the second printing should be out. Another 5,000 books. So I think half of them are already sold based on what the publishers told me, so I don't know. Hopefully a third printing. The French edition is going to come out in the spring. Also, just so you know, for everybody who's in the various communities, I will be doing a workshop in Amsterdam, in The Hague, right outside of Amsterdam. That's going to be in February 2nd. It's going to be Friday, February 2nd. It's going to be a jelly lab. So everybody who's in, you know, that part of Europe, you know, it's easy to get to Amsterdam area. I know we have Brussels and Bern, and I know Brussels is a couple hours away. So it's going to be 12 spots in that workshop, and it's going to open up. It probably is already open by the time this video goes live. So if you want to jump in, please do. I also have a 3-day workshop that I'm doing in Colorado in the first weekend in March. So it's gonna be March 1st through the 3rd, I think it is. It's 3 days. So if you're stateside and you're in the Colorado area, or you know, you can get to Colorado nicely, then join me at the Rocky Mountain Folk School. They invited me to come in, and we're going to do a jelly printing workshop and, you know, make books and stuff like that. And so yeah, that's everything. So love you guys so much. Make sure you jump on my email list for the zine moving forward. This year I gave everybody free printables, and I think throughout the year in my zine periodically I'll do some printables, some free downloadables for you all, because you know I love giving to you and love you all so much. I can't thank you enough. So the link for joining the zine will be below the video, so make sure you get on that one, because I only send the zine out to people who are on that list. For the month of December, I sent it out to my whole mailing list because I wanted everybody to get the zine, get the printables. But moving forward, I only send it to those who are on the email list, because I don't like to just bother everybody on my list. They might not want my printables. They might not want any information. So you know what I mean. Anyhow, happy holidays to everyone. Love you guys so much. And I will see you the first Saturday in January, right back at this table, ready to go. Bye-bye.